Good evening, everyone! Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube sign off and imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we're gonna go over Money in the Bank was in Hartford, Connecticut. Now, before we do, big news info, gotta go over now. Obviously, the big thing that did happen, today marks the 8-year, as the day of this recording, today it marks the 8-year anniversary of when Macho Man Randy Savage passed. Is still truly missed. Macho was definitely one of my all-time favorites as a kid. It was just... he really was larger than life to me. He was bigger than Hogan in my eyes. But also, big news, Ashley Marisso from the 2007 Diva Search, she passed away. She was only 39. And my heart goes out to her family, especially her daughter, because, it's a sad thing. Whatever the reason, I don't want to know. Just from a fan perspective, because honestly, it happened. That's for her and her family to deal with. Let them. Don't go being one of them asshole fans that dig up every last little bit of evil, little dirty info, from lawsuits, hateful remarks, things saying for or against the WWE, whatever. No, let that shit go. Somebody fucking died. Show some fucking class. Aside from that, also, get back and get my cool. Excuse me. Aside from that, big news also AEW wise. Obviously, y'all probably have been living under a rock if you haven't heard it by now. AEW is going to be on TNT. Turner Network is getting back in the wrestling business, and honestly, my personal perspective on how I see it, when the AOL Time Warner merger happened, AOL Time Warner, they looked at it like, well, wrestling, we don't want that in our portfolio. That's beneath us. And they kept it off of there. And they kept it away for all that time. Next thing you know, Spectrum buys out AOL Time Warner. Next thing you know, now they see all the hype going on. Hey, Cody, Matt, Nick, come over here, let's talk. That's just on how I think it went. Also, speaking of AEW, I hate to steal somebody else's line, but Forbes kind of hit the nail on the head with the name in this article. AEW's politics have already started to show. People playing politics. The match between Pac and Hangman Adam Page got canceled. The rumors and speculations and all that, and take rumors with a grain of salt, mind you, was that Pac being the Dragon Gate heavyweight champion, he takes it legitimately serious and is not willing to go and do a loss on it unless it's, not being, trying to think the right way to say it without sounding like a smarky dick. I can't, so he doesn't want to put people over, basically, in that kind of a sense. So, yeah. So, they had a small little run-in at a show in the UK. It ended in a DQ, which leaves a potential opening for a match down the road. But either way, this is what happens when you let people when you let talent have X amount of creative control over their characters and such, And honestly, and this is from my experience when I was doing my shit in the ring, the yards. Honestly, I didn't like losing, but if I had to lose, okay, I gotta take a loss. All right, hey, let's go work this match. How am I taking? How you gonna win? How you want to win tonight? You know, you don't always need a win to get over. If you can put on a hell of a show and put on a fucking fight, you can win. You can get more over that way. I mean, it's just really. Now, aside from that, that's all the big news outside of the pay-per-view. But, so with that said, let's get into the show. Pre-show match. Dniel, Bryan, and Rowan going against the Usos. This came to be because since Matt and Jeff had to relinquish the tag titles, Shane was about to reward them to Dniel, Bryan, and Rowan when the Usos came out and said, whoa, whoa, whoa. We put those titles on the map. How about you make them boys earn it? Go against us. And Bryan and Rowan did. They won. And so now we get to this match. Rowan was pretty much clubbing the one. I think it was Uso 2. You know, and now this could just be my hot take on it, but honestly, since the Usos have gone face with this new character overhaul, which, don't get me wrong, definitely an improvement from coming out wearing shiny pleather spandex and face paint on. But it just seems like since they went face, now it just seems like they're more giddy and like, almost kind of like in the same way they were before when they were doing the paint and that shit. Just no more doing the tribal dancing shit before they come down to the ring. Either way, it was what it was. It was a pre-show match. Match came to an end when the Usos, they hit a double super kick and then splash on the Bryan. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Next up, now we go to the main show. Women's Money in the Bank match. Start off Noami. Gotta give credit to Noami where credit's due. Love the outfit she came out with, dressed up like Bumblebee from the Teen Titans comics. Carmella, Nikki Cross, Mandy Rose, whew, and Ember Moon, Dana Brooke, Natayla, and Bayley. Now, obviously, as per usual with Money in the Bank matches, chaos ensued right at the beginning of the bell. Everyone ran after each other. Nikki Cross, God bless her, that crazy ass Scottish woman, got the ladder, started taking it to everyone. Next thing you know, putting it in, started doing the Terry Funk helicopter. That was freaking beautiful. I love that. Now, one thing did notice though, not sure if it was planned or if it was legit, but at one point, when Carmella, she was picking up a ladder, Mandy kicked it, boom, clipped her on the side. You could see Carmella grab her knee. She actually got to the outside, and you could see on how you go back and you watch it, you could actually see the cameras trying to steer away from it and put more focus on all the action on the other side. And instead, which tells me that it really was. Because if it wasn't, 9 out of 10 times, if it's not, and it's a scripted injury, they tend to put more focus on it. But at later points, she came down, stumbling a little, but she did use that knee and did wind up working in the match. It was a decent match. I dug the hell out of it, and like that, I liked it. I thought it was decent. Match came to an end when eventually everyone got knocked the hell out. And Sonya Deville, who was out there cheering on Mandy, actually picked up Mandy, who got knocked out, carried her on her shoulders, was climbing up the ladder. Next thing you know, Bayley popped up right out of nowhere on the other side, like, hi. Wham, wham, wham. Knocked him down. Next thing you know, boom. Grabbed it. So Bayley won and is Miss Money in the Bank. Next up we got Rey Mysterio going up against Samoa Joe. This was a very short match. Lasted about maybe 2 minutes or so. How it went was pretty much Joe wound up getting a busted nose at one point, and then next thing you know, Rey countered a Rey countered a power bomb. Next thing you know, went for the cover. Now, one thing noticed though, and everyone freaking noticed it, Joe's shoulders were like this, both of them, not just one, but both. And you know, I'll give Cole, Renee, and Corey credit where credit's due. They did try to play it, saying the ref's view was obscure, but the camera freaking showed the referee was right here, so he could see the shoulders were like that. I'll give you guys credit for sticking to the lie, but for fuck's sake, it's still a lie and we all know it. But yeah, Rey won. Now, in a way, it makes sense. Because, hear me out, you go back to WrestleMania, Joe won in a very short-lived match. Rey wins in a very short-lived match, saying he could beat Joe in that same type of a way. That's all I'm saying. Psychology-wise, I thought it made sense. After the match, though, Joe got pissed, beat the ungodly shit out of Rey, and then Rey's son, Dominic, who, keep in mind, 10 years prior, Rey fought for custody of his son in a ladder match to make sure he would be with his son. And yet, his son just stood outside the ring the entire time while Samoa Joe pounded his dad into hamburger meat. You know, if Rey didn't get hurt from Samoa Joe, and I was Rey, I would have made that kid have a coming to Jesus meeting. And if any of y'all understand what a coming to Jesus meeting is, congratulations, you were just as much of a fucked up kid as I was and got into a shitload of trouble. Next up, we got cage match. Shane McMahon going against The Miz. And this was another match where I just sat there and I was wondering what the fuck was wrong with the refs. And I'll get into that part with the ref in a minute, but you know, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure all the way here in local Erie, PA, I could hear fucking Vince McMahon yelling at those refs. God fucking damn it, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Can't you fucking count? It's simple. 1, 2, 3. Make sure their shoulders are on the fucking mat. Can't you do your job right? I'm pretty sure Vince said something like that, though. Shane and Miz, how it started out, Miz, he pretty much blew up right on Shane right off bat. And decently, it was a half decent match. It was, I wouldn't say it was a 5-star match, at all, but it was a decent match. Now, the part that pissed me off was, at one point, Miz has the figure 4 locked in. Shane's crawling, trying to get out of it. Grabs the ropes, trying to pull himself up. And you could hear, and Cole and Graves even say, there's no rope breaks, there's no disqualifications in a cage match. Next thing you know, Miz hits a skull-crushing finale on Shane. What's Shane do? Grab the rope, and the ref calls for a rope break. Are you fucking kidding me? Now again, I'll give credit where credit's due. At the point, they made up for it on the commentary saying, well, maybe the ref's worried about where his alliances will lie or, who's signing his paychecks. But they didn't fucking follow up on it on Monday. So just, ugh. You know, it leads to fucking, what the fucking shit fuck, man. Now, the match came to an end. Miz and Shane, they were up on top of the cage brawling. Shane, he started to try and wiggle his way down. And Miz was holding on to his shirt. And then Shane just, whoop, slipped right out of his shirt and landed. And fell right on the floor. So, Shane won. In which case, you have to figure at some point, Johnny Ace had to be sitting there thinking, oh, well, you know, Shane, if you need somebody to help oil your back, I could do that for you. Of course, your back may not be as well defined or as vascular as your dad's, but I'll still do it for you. Yeah, pretty sure Johnny Ace was doing that. But either way, I'm okay with that win. It was different. And not only that, with a cage match, a heel is the way a cage match is typically set up. The heel is normally got the winning odds set on them for winning. So with that said, now we go into cruiserweight action. Tony Nese defending his coveted cruiserweight championship against Ariya Daivari, and this was a nice change of pace because I have been saying for a while on how the cruiserweights work as the openings on the show because, you know, it's a way to entice the crowd, like, oh, yeah! You know, high action, all that kind of shit. You know, very much so in the same way WCW did back in the day with their pay-per-views. Seeing it on this, to me it felt like, okay, they're saying that they're putting some trust in them, you know? So, now Daivari, he was leading at the start, had a nice pace and flow. Nese started to build up his comeback, really nice in a nice, good way. We'll say one thing though, extremely jealous of Tony Nese because I only got 10 pounds on the man and he's got more abs than me. Yeah. Anyways, match wound up coming to an end with Tony Nese. He hit the running knee on Daivari in the corner, right out of nowhere on it, and just boom, caught him. Got the win, 1, 2, 3. That was it. Next up, women's match: Lacey Evans, Becky Lynch. Becky led at the start. Lacey liked on how Lacey was working on Becky's arm at one point during the match, trying to soften it up like, hey, she can't use her arm. She's not going to be able to make me tap out, you know. And I'll give credit where credit's due, you know. Lacey Evans, she's a good talent, you know. She's decent talent. I mean, okay, we're not saying any way, shape, or form. Definitely see her in the champion role anywhere within like the next 5 to 6 months, unless she gets like unless she shows a whole lot of repertoire, or a whole lot of moves in her repertoire, I should say. But yeah, it was a decent match. I thought it was a nice match. Help establish Lacey as a contender, you know. And at this point with her on the show, she's better off as a hunter instead of the hunted. But Becky, she got the win. Wound up actually doing it by putting a running boot to Lacey's face, and then 1, 2, 3. That was it. Or no, I'm sorry, not boot. Sorry, got it with the disarmer. Sorry, got my notes messed up. Thanks a lot, Wade. First botch of the night. Damn it. Hate losing bets with production. Yeah. Becky got the win using the disarmer. Immediately after the win, Charlotte came down and then said, hey, come on, let's do it. Let's go, do it now. Let's do it now. Not giving Becky a chance to like catch her breath or go grab a drink or whatever. Just, all right, come on, let's go. And then they had it. They had a nice little one. Good back and forth at the start of it. I dug this, you know, and this is exactly what I was saying before I wanted to see, but how the match came to an end. Lacey ran in, caught Becky with the woman's right. Next thing you know, Charlotte had a running boot to face, and then got the 1-2-3. So Charlotte won. Immediately after that, Lacey and Charlotte proceeded to go and beat the shit out of Becky and started stomping her in. Next thing you know, Bayley came out, saved her, cashed in on Charlotte, won. So Bayley is now your SmackDown Women's Champion, and in the first ever in the history books, first ever Women's Grand Slam Champion, being NXT Women's Champion, Raw Women's Champion, Women's Tag Champ, and now Raw SmackDown Women's Champion. So, big ups to her on that. Next up we got, well, not even sure you can qualify this as a match. It was really kind of the piss break. Elias and Roman, on how that went. It saw Roman walking up to Gorilla. Next thing you know, Elias smashed the guitar, and then he just walked on down, grabbed an electric, started playing it, and then Roman came out, popped him with a Superman punch, and then got a pin. That was literally the entire thing. Now let's get into a real match. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. Oh, this was fucking good. Really great. You know, it was like tit for tat at the start. Very early Ring of Honor feel to it. Like, you know, and I'm not just saying that because, you know, I'm a big Ring of Honor guy, and, you know, but this really did have an early, like, maybe 2006-ish, want to say, kind of feel to it with Ring of... But, man, this was just good. You know, really loved the feel of the match. Both guys gave it their all. It was really great action. This was hands down match of the night. Hands down, cannot argue otherwise. Match wound up coming to an end with Seth doing the curb stomp onto Styles, getting the 1-2-3, clean cut right in the middle of the ring. At the end, Styles, he walked off, came back in, looked at him, gave him the code of honor, shook hands. Really dug the hell out of that. And next up, we got Kevin Owens versus Kofi. Now, before that happened, we saw Lars Sullivan come out and destroy the Lucha House Party. And, you know, it took me a minute to process, like, well, wait, why the hell are we getting this right after a Universal title? And then it dawned on me, you needed a fluffer. Needed a fluffer in between matches to keep you, like, because you had that big high-octane match. Now, you got to have something to draw the crowd out, so that way you can draw them back in. Or not, yeah, you needed that filler right there, should say. Damn it, I'm fucking up all over tonight. So, yeah, Kevin Owens, Kofi, very nice, different pace compared to Styles and Rollins, which, you know, if you're gonna do the title matches back to back, yeah, that's what you definitely need. You need to have each one. You need to have both matches be different in that sense. You know, really liked on how Owens was leading. You know, Owens was leading the match for the most part, but it did have good back and forth. I'm not going to lie, I freaking died laughing when Owens actually got so mad he ripped off Kofi's shoes and threw them out. Threw them out of the ring. But match wound up coming to an end. Owens, he went from the top to go for a senton. Kofi blocked it, put the high knees up. Next thing you know, did a Trouble in Paradise. Right on him, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Kofi is still your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now let's get into the main event of the night. Baron Corbin, Finn Balor, Ricochet, Andrade, Ali, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton. I know I did say last week Sami Zayn was going to be in this match. However, Sami got attacked earlier in the show and was strung up from his boots, and so Sami was unable to compete. Obvious speculation on who did it was Braun Strowman. Strowman was saying, I didn't have nothing to do with that. I've been looking for him. So, yeah. Now, bell rings, we get mayhem all over. One thing that did stand out, and it was in a cool way, was how Randy Orton came in, timed his shots. He came in like that prize fighter that's, you know, coming down, that's slowly coming down to the end of their career. Just that, you know, picking and choosing his shots. Coming in, hitting his shots, and then going hiding. You know, like that. That was decent on him. I dug the hell out of that. And, yeah, my God, Finn, I felt so sorry for Finn Balor because his spine got put through the fucking ringer. He got slammed through more ladders, spine first, and on the hard parts of him too, more times than not, and just, oh, God. Man, he had to be sitting in a tub full of ice after that match. And, yeah, it was just, yeah, this was definitely a hell of a good match. I dug the hell out of it, you know. And believe it or not, at some point, you know, it did look like everyone did seemingly have a chance where it was, well, hey, could this one actually legitimately get it? You know, even though you're looking like, nah, they wouldn't let this one get it or that one. But yeah, it did look like it for a minute, and that was cool as shit. Now the match came to an end. Ali, he's climbing up. He's going for it. Next thing you know, music hits in. You see Brock Lesnar. And everyone's just like, what the fuck? Lesnar runs down, slams Ali. Next thing you know, climbs up, takes the briefcase, and declares himself the winner. Next night on Raw, Paul Heyman goes and shoots down all conspiracy theories saying Brock Lesnar shanghaied Sami Zayn, and then, you know, had somebody negotiate a contract for Lesnar to do this and all that jazz. And, you know, just stop with the conspiracy theories, because now you're going to think at some point Brock Lesnar had something to do with the JFK, which I'm pretty sure Kayfabe News has the inside source that Brock Lesnar went back in time and German suplexed John F. Kennedy. Not sure though. They might. May have to ask them. Either way, Lesnar won, which, honestly, I'm kind of okay with, because if Lesnar, you know, we'll just say for the hell of it, okay, Lesnar's part-time, we really ain't got much to worry on. He comes in, he cashes, then he gets it. You know? And more than likely, with the way Brock actually is willing to work, bro, you know, he could be willing to just go and say, nah, I'll take the loss. Because, you know, Brock Lesnar has even said it. He is an entertainer. He looks at it in an entertainment aspect, not a pro wrestling aspect. And that's where the difference is. Yep. So, yeah. That's it. So, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, like on normal, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on my Twitter, Tim Vicious. Do also got another account, Tim_Vicious, if I get ghosted or put in Twitter jail. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. So if you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here. Or my Twitter at Tim Vicious. So I don't think you got your crew John going. Also, folks, do not forget to check out these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Cranky Asshole, Dazzy MWP, and Sergeant Curry Pants. Big ups to my executive producer, Ali Rewind Ben, who provided the music for this week's show. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, and such. Details are down below. Also, you want one of these sweet-ass Ali Rewind shirts? Hit the man up. Talk to Talk to me, I'll talk to the man for you. Show that man some love and support. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you. This is where we're going. This is what